My friend said God told her I must play violin at her wedding, and I noped out. We met for lunch between classes, and my friend from school asked me to be in her wedding. We've known each other for about 2 years, mostly from group projects and labs. We don't hang out outside school. I thought she meant groomsmen stuff or handing out programs. She told me no, it was something else. She leaned in and said she had a perfect wedding dream that made her wake up crying. She wrote it all down, made little sketches on printer paper, and called it a vision from God. She said the whole day would change people's lives. She kept saying it had to look and feel exactly right. Then she said my part was the key. She wanted me standing at the front left by the aisle, playing the violin while guests arrived. She said I'd wear a white suit that was soft, very romantic, and that she'd know it when she saw it. I laughed and told her I don't play the violin. I've never even held one. She smiled and said I had a year to learn. She opened a notebook and let me read a few pages. The margins were full of big words in marker, with lines circled hard. I saw all in white written over other words, and inspect what you expect repeated across a page. Under my name it said violin, soft and complex, beautiful and intricate. Then she said she wanted a piece so detailed people would think it was 2 players. I told her I could probably learn a few notes, but not a whole piece. I offered to help her find a real violinist. She slammed her palm on the table and said, "Stop." Silverware jumped. Then she went right back to happy talk and told me, "It has to be you." She waved off my offer like it was nothing. I tried again and said, "I really can't do this." She cut me off and dropped a bomb. "I already bought your violin," she said. "It was almost $2,000. I stared at her. She added, "Just start lessons. You can keep it if you do well." I told her this was not reasonable. She lifted both hands like a wall and said, "Enough." She told me to find a teacher this week and start practicing every day. She said she believed in me and that this was very important to her. She said I'd be proud when it all came together. I felt my face get hot. People at the next table looked over. The server refilled our water and glanced at us. My friend started describing the entrance music and the timing again. I said I still couldn't promise anything. She nodded as if I had agreed and checked something off on her notes. We paid and walked outside. She hugged me, said we were doing this, and hurried off. I stood there on the sidewalk with my receipt in my hand. I texted her later and said I couldn't commit to playing. No answer. I sat on my bed and stared at my phone. I did a quick search for beginner violin lessons and looked at prices. I watched a video of how to hold a bow and kept dropping my hand. I tried to be realistic about practice time with our fall schedule. Even if I took 2 lessons a week and practiced daily, it wouldn't be what she wanted. I kept hearing her say, "It has to be you." That night I sent a careful message to her fiancé. I told him what she asked me to do and what she said at lunch. I said I was worried about her because she seemed extra intense and not taking no for an answer. I told him I wanted to support them in a better way. Then I tried to sleep. The next afternoon, I saw a Facebook message from her. She said I was jealous and trying to get between them. She said I didn't understand love or wedding planning. She said nothing would tear them apart, least of all you, with a laugh at the end. About an hour later, a long message came from her fiancé. He said she had blown up at a florist because they couldn't do the whole wedding in Wisteria. He said the store almost called the police. He had also found out she spent her student loan money on wedding stuff. He said she'd been booking venue tours with huge prices. He listed a castle near Lake Travis that she wanted. He said the quotes made no sense for them. He told me he tried to set a budget and slow it down. She yelled and left for her sister's house. He said he was hurt by what she said to him and didn't know what to do next. He asked me what I had told her and why I messaged him. I told him I repeated my no and suggested a pro musician. I told him her reaction at lunch worried me. I suggested he ask her sister to take her to a doctor and see what's going on. I said I wasn't trying to be rude or stir anything. He went quiet for a bit, then said he'd take care of his family. His tone felt stiff and cold by the end. I told him I understood. I said I didn't want the violin, the suit, or any part of that plan. I said I was sorry for the stress. He said he heard me. He said the wedding planning would be handled. He didn't ask me any more questions about lessons. I told him again I wasn't playing. Then I closed the chat and blocked any new group invites. Now her friends are saying I'm ruining her dream wedding. Am I wrong?